Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. You've all seen the news reports about the falling birth rate in the Western world, and I've covered this topic on a handful of videos. But you've also seen news reports on YouTube in the videos about how women have a shopping list of requirements for guys if they're even going to consider to date them. Now, falling birth rates and women being picky sort of go hand in hand, and it's having a detrimental effect on several countries in the world, as I thought I'd have a look at how things are going in Scandinavia. So looking around, first of all I found this. This is from The Guardian, which is a British left-wing female-friendly newspaper, and it says, why shortage of men's rights, Mr. Rights means single mothers hold the key to the falling birth rate. Apparently it's for daddy government to get involved in rearing the child. It says single women may not want to pair up, but they still have children, but they can still have children alone. Well, you need to pair up with a guy in order to get pregnant in the first place. Now, if you go down, it says, since 2008, amid unequal progress in gender equality, some of the most generous parent support schemes on the planet, birth rates in Sweden, Norway and Iceland have fallen precipitously. Nordic countries are comparatively paternal utopias, yet birth rates tick along slightly above the EU average and still well below replacement rate. What it doesn't tell you is Norway, Iceland, Sweden and Finland have also the highest concentrations of third and fourth wave feminism on this planet, and they're wondering why guys don't want to get in with these toxic women to get married and have children and start a family. But that's having a detrimental effect on the Swedish economy, as I found this. Birth rate in Sweden hits a 2-decade low. Lowest birth rate in Sweden since 1999. Now this was written on 8th of August 2022 and updated on the same day. Sweden has dropped its lowest birth rate in over 20 years, according to national statistics. That would be Swedish national statistics. The figures showed in January-April 1.57 children were born per woman compared to 1.69 children the same period last year. And then it just gives a little bit about it, with the pandemic being the old bogeyman that's going to be blamed for it. Now, if you have a look around, the Population Europe Network for Europe's leading demographic and research centres. I couldn't find a date on this article. Why are birth rates in Sweden falling? This is by this guy at Stockholm University, demographic unit, and then it's an article about why the Swedish birth rate are falling down. But the Max Planck Institute for Demographic Research has also jumped on the bandwagon, but this was November 3rd last year. Falling birth rates in Northern Europe. Birth rate in Scandinavia used to be the highest in Europe for long, but since 2010 they have declined faster than expected, such as in Finland, where they have slumped to an all-time low. And then it's a graph with the birth rates for Norway, Sweden and Finland. And little Denmark at the bottom is also experiencing a drop in birth rates. And then it goes bit of data and waffle about it. But this I found interesting. Fourth wave feminism kicks off in 2014, 1.88 burst. Then 2015, 2016, and then you see a drop. A girl, 17 years old, then 18, 19, 20. She's in her most fertile rate, but she doesn't want to have children. because the Swedish girl, Norway girl, Finnish girl, Danish girl, they just been indoctrinated with the female woke ideology that I don't need no men, so they don't have children. The next year it drops to 175, then 177, then 176. Girls that were 15 here, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old girls. 2020, 1.66. It bumped up a little bit, and last year it was 1.52. Whoops. Hence, the lowest birth rate in 20 years. There's nothing much more on this. I could go other things, but this is the main thing that I found. And the Christian Network Europe have started to notice the drop rate in Scandinavia. Sweden joins the other European countries in birth rate decline. This was done on the 1st of March this year, or about a week ago, if that. Sweden remains another Scandinavian country experiencing record low birth rates. 2021 birth rates increased slightly during the coronavirus pandemic. If you drop back to that, that's the pandemic. Stay at home, nothing on the telly worth watching, so they decide to have sex, and as a result, the Swedish, Norwegian, Finnish and Danish women that were fertile got knocked up, and a little bit of a birth rate. But then we came out the pandemic, and it drops back to 1.52 in Sweden. What researchers do know is that the number of births within Sweden of foreign-born women, i.e. all the Muslim immigrants that they've imported, is in a continuous state of decline. The total population at the end of December was estimated at 10,521,556. We saw an increase of 69,230 people, 0.17% since 2021. However, that slight upward trend is being attributed towards more births and deaths, as well as an increasing number of immigrants in the country. In other words, all the Muslims have been importing, they've breeded a little bit more than the native Swedes. In addition to Scandinavia, many European countries have experienced record declines in their birth rates, according to research from Human Reproduction. Let's have a look at that. Impact the first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic on birth rates in Europe, a time series analysis. And lots of statistical stuff. That was published by the BBC. Europe has witnessed a 14% decline in the overall birth rate in 2021. And then it goes on about the COVID-19. But Sweden are dropping the birth rate, same as in Finland, same as in Norway, same as in Little Denmark. And going back to this article, women are getting picky. It says, modern women have this problem. How is this related to empowerment? The unable to find the right man is a fairly recent luxury for women. Women may not in theory want to be single and childless, but they can afford to be if the right person doesn't come along. This is now how increased choice might paradoxically result in women who want children not having them. So Swedish women are probably being picky about Swedish guys. Also, Swedish women have been indoctrinated with third and fourth wave feminism, which turns them away from guys. Well, even when they get a guy, I found this, most common reasons why men pull away. Now, this was written by I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. This lady, she's an interior designer and home decor expert, but she's also stuck her toe into human relations. And now, if you drop down, this is from a woman's perspective, remember. The reason guys pull away, unsure about his real feelings, afraid of commitment, past trauma, stress, not ready, fear of losing. Get rid of that. Losing freedom, insecurities and self-doubts, fear of abandonment, fear of conflicts, fights and disagreements. No future, unrealistic or too many expectations. That, I suspect, is the only true, honest answer she gives, because this is a woman's perspective, remember. And then what do you do if he pulls away? A woman's to-do list. Don't poke him, vent out, emphasize, benefit of doubt, couple counselling, give him space, comprehension, prioritize yourself, and then conclusion and whatever. But it all boils down to guys not going with women. Feminism is rampant in the Nordic countries, and you got this happen. I suspect MGTOW is also exponentially growing across Scandinavia. I've not found any news articles about that, but I'll have a look around this week. And the birth rate in Sweden is causing considerable anxiety amongst the Swedish government as their demographics are changing and dropping. And that's going right across Europe. And it's more or less started in 2014 with fourth wave feminism started. A bit of a bump in 2015, 2016. Women that were becoming fourth wave feminism were probably pregnant, which is why the birth rate held up. But after they had the baby, then it started dropping with this little COVID bump. And then we're in 2022 and 1.52%. And the reason is Sweden joins European countries in a low birth rate decline, and it ain't going to get any better. What the effect of MGTOW has in this, I have no idea, but I suspect that guys have seen in Scandinavia how feminism is at first hand, and they don't want any part of it, and they decided to follow the MGTOW philosophy of looking after themselves. If I find anything more about Scandinavia and low birth rates, I'll do another video about it, but I think I'm over the 10-minute mark now, so you all know the routine. So until next Monday, that's it for this one. Bye-bye.